Hi, Division Directors for District 106. Thank you for stepping up to be a Division Director. First, you need to go to Zoom US, then sign in. You're going to sign in with your division email address. And the password will be your Zoom password. It should not be the same as your division email. You will set up your own name, you can edit that, and any other information that you want to edit on the profile. Go into meetings. You'll notice that there may already be some meetings there, but what we'd like you to do is provide a meeting template to make it easy for the area speech contest. So let's begin with your meetings. First thing you want to do is schedule a meeting. What we're going to do is we're going to schedule your division contest, and we'll create a template for this. You can create a meeting description if you like to. The date doesn't really matter at this point when we don't really know what the date is, because that can be changed at any time. So for right now, we're going to make it 6 p.m. and we'll make it for some time out in the future, because it doesn't really matter. If you do know, go ahead and set the correct date. The duration, this will set for about 2 hours. It doesn't technically matter. Make sure you check the correct time zone. Because your division contests are not reoccurring meetings, make sure that you do not check that. Registration will be required, however, so make sure you do check that. Your meeting ID, you can have it generate automatically so that the meeting ID will be different for each of your meetings. Here, if you already have a template, you can select the template that you want to pick from. In this case, I've made an area speech contest template. However, we're not going to pick that at this time because I want to show you how to create your contest and create the template if it doesn't have one. Create a passcode for your meeting. And I do recommend that you do have a waiting room. That way, people can't just join at any time. And do not check require authentication to join, because not all of your people will have a Zoom account. So leave that blank. Your video, you can have your host on, your participants on as well. If you want people to come into the meeting and immediately have their video off, you can certainly change that to off. But for right now, we'll keep it on just to make sure all of our participants have their videos on, because we can shut them off later. You can allow your participants to join at any time before the meeting, particularly if you are going to have your briefings before the meeting. But if you are going to select any time, definitely have a waiting room. So if people get this link, they can't just start your meeting at any time. Another option is to set the time for 10 or 15 minutes before the start time, and then it will automatically start letting participants into the meeting. For right now, we'll leave it at any time. We do want our participants muted when they come in. That should be it, unless, of course, you want to automatically record the meeting. Since this is the division meeting, we'll go ahead and start recording the meeting on our local computer, so you can have a recording of the session if you need it. And we're going to hit save. We're not done yet. One of the things we did is we said that registration was required. So this is great. However, we need to edit the registration. We need a few more questions added. We would like to have an email to the host when someone registers, so you know who is registering for your meeting. You might as well close the registration after the event date, because there's no longer a need for it. And you can restrict the number of registrants to 100, because that's the maximum number that we have allowed in this particular Zoom account. Then let's go over to the custom questions. We need to add 3 new questions. We want your club name, and that will be required. So create that. The next question we want, which is not required, is the district officer role, if applicable. They might not have one, so that's why we're not making it required. And then we'll give another one that's not required, just comments. And these will all be short answers. So we've created our 3 new questions. And the questions that are already in will be name and the first name, last name, and email address automatically pop in. So we'll hit save. And at this point, this meeting is ready to be created as a template. So again, down towards the bottom where we went to set up our email registration, we want to save as template. So let's take a look first, before we do that, at our email settings. We want to make sure that the email contact is your division at d106tm.org. And then the branding should have the Toastmasters logo. Include the Toastmasters International logo, which you can get off of the Toastmaster International website. Now that we've got our registration questions set, our email setting set, and our branding set, we can now save this as a template. And then you can name your template and hit save as template. Now these same settings can be used at any time for the future. How do we use those? Let's go back up into My Meetings. And when you want to set a meeting, all you have to do is hit Schedule a Meeting. And now you can name your meeting. Put in your meeting description if you like. Put in your date and time. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to use a template. Now notice that the template does not change the date and time up here. It will change everything else down below. And so make sure you enter in your date and your time for your meeting, because those can change at any time. So we've got our registration required, we've got automate, we've got our waiting room, we have our video set, we have our participants allowed, we've got them muted, we've got it automatically recording here, and then we hit save. Now let's make sure that we have our registration still set appropriately. Let's go edit it and check our custom questions. And there they are. So our meeting's all set to go. Send this registration link, and you can do copy invitation. Send it to the D106TM web editor at webeditor@d106tm.org to make sure that this meeting gets on that calendar. Make sure you set these up the same for your area contests. To add a club meeting, go ahead to the meeting templates and find your club meeting template. Use this template. Give it a name. Enter your description. And then this is a recurring meeting, but now you can set the time and when the people meet. So 6:30 p.m. and it's an hour and a half Central Time. So every Tuesday, and then you can set it to end by, and I would recommend going maybe to the end of the Toastmaster year, as changes may occur at that time. And then the new division director can set up their club meetings, see if anything changes. And then you can allow participants to join. I would highly recommend that it's not just any time, that they're allowed 15 minutes before, because otherwise if anybody has this link, they can start a meeting at any time, unless your clubs do want to be allowed to join at any time. And then you can save this meeting. And what you can do here then is send this invitation to your club leader, and they can put it on their website and use this same meeting code over and over again for all of their meetings.